Hello everybody and welcome to RPG Maker VX Ace Beginner's Guide Video 4. In this video we're going to be covering the database. Now the database is super awesome because it's completely customizable. Pretty much you can just customize absolutely everything in the game in the database. And right now we're going to be covering quite a bit in this video. It's going to be pretty long, so just, go at your own pace, but just bear in mind it's going to take a while. But the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and pick up where we last left off in video 3. So pick up the map that you were working on, and let's go ahead and go into the database. How you get to the database is by going over to this icon here and clicking it, of course, or you can simply just push F9 on the keyboard. I'll just do that. So F9. Here is the database. In the database we have a whole bunch of different things that can be customized, from actors all the way to system and terms, tile sets, just a whole bunch of stuff. It's really awesome. First of all, we're going to customize some items and add and delete some to make it more organized, because we're not going to be using all of these items here because we don't need most of them. So the way to do that is quite simple. Let's go ahead. We're going to do what's called, well, I'll show you what multi-copy is. It'll make it a little easier once you start doing your own games, where you'll be able to copy and paste things a lot quicker. So what this does, let's see, oops. What multi-copy does is, for instance, say I wanted this item, so magic water, stimulant, and antidote, but I didn't want to copy anything else after that. In default, I would have to do everything manually. So I'd have to right-click, copy, paste, right-click, copy, paste for each item. But for multi-copy, I can set the amount of items I want to copy, and then I will save a lot of time. So for right now, let's see, I just want these 3, so we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, push OK. Now we're going to go up to high potion, and we're going to go ahead and paste. And so you see it replaced high potion with the 3 items that I copied with multi-copy. So magic water, stimulant, and antidote. So the rest of them, however, I don't need anything else after the antidote. So what you can do is, to do that quickly, instead of just manually deleting each one, you can just go to change maximum, and we only want to have the 4. So let's go ahead and just push or type in 4, push OK, and boom, all of the excess ones are deleted. So that was cool. However, we're going to create a new item. So just to give us a little example of how to do that. So to do that, we need to change the maximum again. We need to increase it to 5. So we need to create a new one. So click OK. And then in this, go ahead and double click, or just, well, you just click it. And in this item, we're going to the item is going to cure blindness status. And so in the guide, the name of the item is called Collyrium, spelled Collyrium. And apparently it's a Greek word for like healing the face or the eyes or something like that. Interesting, huh? You can change the icon of the item, and let's see, for this one it's going to be like a bottle, so well, at least I'll have it be a bottle, and I'll just click this one, push OK, and there you go. And we can make a description of the item, so to just give it some flair. And well, according to the guide, this is called, or it says, this elixir will cure blindness, period. Cool. And now some other things we can change up here. We have the item type if you go over to item type, you can have either a normal or a key item. Key items would be like keys, keys and special items, probably used for like quests and stuff like that. So since this is just a normal bottle of Collyrium, we're just going to put normal. The price is set at 30. It is a consumable, which means that once we consume one bottle, the bottle disappears. So if we had 30, we used one, we delete, we use it, we consume it, we have 29 left. You know, Sesame Street. Oh yeah. So, the next thing is the scope. Now, the scope basically is who gets affected by the use of this bottle of Collyrium. So we can have it set to one ally, so one ally would use it, and it would only affect that ally. Or this engine gives you a whole bunch of different options. So, for instance, if we really wanted to, we could have it set to all allies. So one ally would drink it, but all the rest of the allies would be like, they would receive the same benefits for the bottle and stuff like that. Which doesn't make any sense, unless, I don't know, maybe they're belching all over the place and the fumes of the belch is like curing them or something. But let's just for right now keep it on one ally. And the occasion is basically like when you can use the item. So, for instance, it's set on always, which means I could either use it in battle, I can use it outside of battle, and yeah, there's a couple of different things you can choose. But since blindness is only it's only an ailment during battles, it's not necessary to have it where you'll be able to use it outside of battle. So we'll just have it only in battle. Okay? The next things we're going to look at are the invocations. Let's see, so there are a bunch of different things that we can set up here. We can set up the speed. Let's see, the value that is added to the character's agility when they determining attack order. Okay. So we have speed, success percentage, repeats, and TP gain. So speed, it basically, I guess, let's see. So if we took this item, would it like increase our agility basically? And the success rate would be, or the success percentage would be how successful, if we use the item, like how successful it will actually work. So if, for instance, if I set it to 50%, there's a 50% chance that it would work, and 100% is 100%. Repeats are if, for instance, say I took a bottle of this bottle here, I would use it once, but then if I chose to say like 5 repeats, I could have it could be like every turn afterwards, I would receive the same bonus from using the Collyrium. So you can do that if you want it. But for this, we're just going to leave it at 1 and 100 success rate. And TP gain is technique points. So there's a system in the engine where you gain these points and you're able to use those points to use for like special attacks. But since it's just a bottle of Collyrium that cures blindness, it just doesn't make sense to have that. So we'll leave it at that as 0. And it's a certain hit, so this is the hit types, and certain hits are basically like what items would use. So they're regards a successful use of an item as a hit. And we also have here, we have physical attack and magical attack. Since it's just an item, we're just going to have it at certain hit because it regards an item. So just click that. And we can also set the animation for when it's used by a character. And the guide has it set as 41, which is restore 2. So 41, restore 2. That's pretty cool. We can go ahead, look at the damage, and there's no real damage because it's not, it's not an attacking item. So we can just leave everything here at 0, including variance, I guess. And then just I guess kind of go over what this is. So type would be if it was an attacking item, you can have it have a certain type of attack type. So you have HP damage, which is of course hit points, and then MP is magic points. HP is recover. So you would regain HP. MP recover would be recovering MP. And HP drain would be draining gradually HP, and same thing with MP drain. But we're going to leave it at none. Element is basically if it has some type of elemental attack. So it can be physical, absorb, fire, just a whole bunch of different things. But since it's not an attack item, we're going to keep it at none. Formulas, we'll go over that very slightly today in this video. Later on we'll discuss more about what formulas do, but we'll be messing with it just a little bit. But for this item we don't need it. Variance is the degree of variability. The value of the final damage will vary by this percentage value. Okay, so what this does is, say for instance an attack has a specific attack threshold. So for instance, I hit a monster, the average or the maximum threshold for that attack would be, say, like 60. What the variance does is if you set it to a certain number, it gives it a percentage of a successful, like it varies the amount of hits between 0 and 60. So it kind of gives it that illusion that, not every hit is always going to be a successful 60 hit, type of thing. And critical, of course, this basically gives it the option to have a critical hit, which of course, critical hit is if you hit it and it goes above the threshold of the item. So since we say we hit it with our 60 point sword or whatever, if gets a critical hit, maybe it gets 70 instead of 60, that type of thing. But since it's just a regular item, we're not going to have to worry about that. Now effects, we are going to have to worry about. Now the effects basically govern what the item does. So let's go ahead and double click inside of it, and we're going to set this as, since the collyrium is curing blindness, so we want to have it be where we remove a state, so the state of blindness. So click there, click the remove state, and then we're going to look down here until we find blind, and we all want it to be at a 100% success rate, because that would kind of stink if you took it and it didn't work. So let's OK it, and guess what? We created our first item, collyrium. So let's go ahead and apply, and then what we're going to do is we're going to, since it's kind of messed up our shop, I'll show you how it did that. Let's go and to our shop, our miscellaneous shop, and see what it did. So double click. As you can see, it kind of messed up a couple things, like one of the items that we were selling before is missing. So let's go ahead and change this. So right click, edit, or space, and we can see that we are missing potion. No, we're not. We're missing stimulant and magic water. So we're going to want to add those. So let's go ahead and edit, and we want an item. So we want magic water, and that's set at 300, and just Go ahead, yeah, we'll just set it at 300. Click OK. And then go to the next one, and we're going to get stimulant, because that's the next one that's missing. That sets at 250. Now, if you wanted to, you can switch these around just to make it more organized. I mean, if you wanted to, you could change it to where it's from lowest to highest, so 30 down to 300, or you can do it by like how much of an item your player would most likely purchase. For instance, I probably wouldn't purchase magic water too often. I would probably purchase potions more and antidotes. So that's probably why they would be best to keep them at the top. It's up to you on how you want to do it. However, I kind of think I want magic water below stimulant, so I can just go in and then cut, go up to magic water, and then paste, and I just switched it up. Very good. Pushed OK, apply it, and let's go ahead and test it out. So go ahead and go to play, test, go to new game, and we're going to need to get some, well, actually no, we don't need to get gold yet. We're just going to test out the shop, see what it looks like. So he says, hey there, need anything? Yes, buy, and look at that. It's been fixed. We have our collyrium, we have our stimulant and magic water. Everything looks like it's in order. Very good. Alright, sweet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add and subtract weapons for our RPG. So go back to the database, so F9, or just go back to that icon. And now we're going to go to the Weapons tab. So go ahead and click Weapons. Now there are specific weapons in this RPG that we want, and there are many that we don't. The weapons that we will need are the hand axe, the battle axe, the wood staff, the magic staff, and the dagger. So let's go ahead and find the wood staff, and that's, let's see, wood staff. Okay, it's number 49. So wood staff, so what you do is copy, and then go below battle axe, go to the Bardachet, right click, paste, and then the next one we need is a magic staff. And I just noticed that it's on 50, so we probably just could have just done a multi-copy, but not well. So copy, and then go to mithril axe, right click, paste, and then we'll need to go to the dagger next, which is, let's see, dagger, 38. So right click, click, right click, copy, and go under our crimson axe, and then right click, paste. And then we just need to change the maximum to, let's see, 5, and click OK. And we're going to be adding one more item, so let's go and change the maximum to 6 now, and then click on 6, and now we're going to create our new item, or not item, our new weapon. So the weapon is going to be a stiletto, and the stiletto, so stiletto, stiletto, and choose the icon. So double click in the graphic area, and stiletto, I'm going to go ahead and choose this. This is what the guide chooses, so click that, click OK, and then the description. Let's see, according to the guide it says a cutting knife that rogues are well accustomed to, or well accustomed with. That's what it states. So a cutting knife that rogues are well accustomed with. Now the next thing is we want to change it to a dagger weapon type. So you can see there's a whole bunch of different types you can change it to. So but for this is going to be a dagger. The price, we're going to have it at 80. And the animation is going to be a slash physical, which is 007. So slash physical. Now there are some parameters here that we can add. The parameters basically are increases into a specific area. So for instance, attack, defense, magic attack, magic defense, agility, luck, maximum health points or hit points, and maximum magic points. So depending upon if we want to have, like, say, a positive or a negative, we can set an increase or a decrease, or just keep it the same to the specific item. So for instance, for this item, we're going to increase the attack parameter to 14. So it adds an extra 14 to attack, which is pretty nice. Because for instance, dagger, if you go to dagger, its attack rate is at 7. So the stiletto is double, it hits twice as much as the dagger does. So that's, pretty cool. You can set that up. The next thing we are going to do with this stiletto is we're going to mess with the features. Now the features, they add extra parameters that these don't also, that are not governed by these, as they're just special features. So for this one, we're going to have it be an attack element, physical. We're going to keep that, and we're going to have an extra parameter, but we're going to change it from 0 to 8. So 8%. So basically that's like gives it an 8% extra hit parameter, which is pretty, or an 8%, yeah, an 8%, there you go. The next one we're going to do, so double click in there, we're going to do an X parameter for critical at 60%. So instead of having it at hit, we're going to have critical, so CRI, and then we're going to have it as 6%. Okay. And then the next one, we're going to have another one. It's going to be an X parameter evade at 4%. So double click, change it to evade, which is EVA, and it's going to be at 4%. Okay. So we have this item. It's going to hit 14 attack, but it's also going to have an extra parameter for an 8% hit rate, or an 8% increase in hits, a 6% increase in critical, and a 4% increase in evasion. That's pretty cool. Alrighty. The next thing we're going to do, well, let's go ahead and apply. And the other things we're going to do is we're going to change the prices in a couple of these items. Let's go to the hand axe, and we're going to change that to 0, which means that this item can't be sold. This item can't be sold. And let's see, let's go ahead and do the same to the wood staff and the dagger. So the wood staff, we're also going to put that at 0, and the dagger will do the same at 0. And we're also going to change, let's see, the battle axe. So let's go to the battle axe. Instead of it being 500, we're going to change it to 200. And for the magic staff, instead of 500, it's going to be 150. And that's pretty much the only things we're going to change in the weapons. So we can go ahead and hit apply, and we'll go on to the next thing. Now the next thing we're going to do is change up the armors. So go right next to weapons is the armors tab, so we'll click that. And we're going to again choose the ones that we're going to use in the game. So the first one we're going to need to find is the cotton robe, and that is on 011. And we're also going to need the silk cloak so we can do the multi-copy. So go ahead, click cotton robe, right click, multi-copy to, OK it, and then go up to the top, right click, paste. So now we have both. Now the next one is a leather mail, which is, leather mail, which is 21, right click, copy, go an adventurer's garb, go paste. Alright. Next one is bronze plate, which is 22, and then copy, and then go under hard leather, then right, paste, and then go to chainmail, which is 31, right click, copy, and then under brigadine, yeah, I guess, paste it, and then iron armor, which is 32, right click, copy, bandana, right click, paste. Alright, so now we have the cotton robe, the silk cloak, the leather mail, the bronze plate, the chain mail, and the iron armor. And then everything else after that we don't need. So let's go ahead and change the maximum to 6. Push OK. And then we are going to change up some of the parameter, or we're going to change up some of the general settings and such and the features in the iron armor. Looks like, let's see, where are we? No, I guess, oh right, okay. That's the only thing we're going to change for the iron armor. We're actually just going to change the price. So we're going to change it to 170. Okay, just to go over a little bit of what's inside the armor general settings. So of course you have the armor name, you have the icon, you got the description. The armor type is different, so you can set it as general. There's a whole bunch of different things here, and you can even change these names in the database if you wanted to. But what happens here is, say for instance you have a specific class that only uses light armor, right? So this is a good way to distinguish between, between the different armor sets in the game, or the different armor classes. So for instance, this one's just going to be a heavy armor, so only characters with that specific class that can use heavy armor items, they're only able to use this armor piece. The equipment type is basically we have 4 different things that can constitute an armor. So we have shield, head, which would be like a helmet, a body, so which will of course be what we have here, and an accessory. So kind of like a jewel or something like that. And there you go. Let's see. We're not going to go ahead and change any of these. We're just going to keep them the same. So that is how you do armor. So cool. Let's go ahead now and do the states. So these will be like states that are either positive or negative. And states kind of like poison, blind, silence, these type of things that either do good things to your characters or do bad things. Okay, so or do bad things and good things to enemies and such like that. So the states that we are going to use, let's see. We're going to keep death, because that's very important, because if we didn't have death, then, well, none of your characters would ever die. So you make sure that you always have death on there, unless that's going to be part of your game, but we're just going to keep it here for right now. You're also going to keep guard, and we're going to keep poison, blindness, and so forth, and yep, just those. So since we have death, we have poison right here, we have blind right here, we just need to have guard and where it needs to be. So let's go ahead, hit guard, push right click, copy, and then go down to silence and paste. Everything else can go away, I believe. Death, guard, poison, blindness. Death, guard, blind, poison. Yep. Okay, so go ahead and change the maximum to 4. And we're going to add another state. We're going to create it from scratch. So go ahead, we're going to name it Thundercry. Oops. Awesome. We'll change the icon. Since it's kind of like a thunder, let's see if we can find something that's like lightning. And let's see, right here. Good. Sweet. Now it's set to the restriction. Now the restriction is, say for instance, you have a status hit your character, or your character gets affected by a status, and the status has a certain restriction on it. So a restriction would basically be like you lose control of the character and the character does a certain thing because of that state. Okay, so for instance, say an enemy puts on a state on one of your characters that has them attack your allies, and you lose control of them, and so you can't control them from like not attacking you. Basically, you can do that through setting up a restriction. So for this one, however, it's set to be attack an enemy. So basically, your character you'll lose control of the character, but they will always attack the enemy. So that's, not too bad. Now, priority basically is in the when you're fighting and you see like statuses or your characters are having statuses on them. If a character has more than one status on them, say for instance they have like poison, they're blind, and they're also guarding, maybe, or being guarded. So they'll have those 3 statuses. But like how this engine works is depending upon the priority and where like the ID of the item, whichever one is the highest is the one that is shown first. So you can set the priority here to have it where if this status is on like a higher priority, it's shown first. So for instance, this one we're going to have it set to 65. I think everyone else. Oh yeah, okay. So death, for instance, is set at 100% priority, which makes sense. Poison is at 65, and it looks like Poison and Thundercry are pretty much on the same plane. So what would happen is whichever one is on the highest ID number, I believe. Let me see. When the priority is the same, the one with the lower ID is given preference. Oh, never mind. So the lower ID, which I believe, I'm not exactly sure if it goes from, if it considers this the highest or this the highest, but whichever one is the highest in ID, because it has the same priority, that's the one that's shown first. Okay, so that's how that works. The removal conditions is what it states. Basically, you set the conditions for removing the status. So you can have it remove at the end of battle. So for instance, say you finish the battle and you still had, during the battle you still had some states on your characters. At the end of the battle, depending upon the state, that state will be removed if you have it set to remove at battle end. And then remove by restriction, let's see. Okay. Remove by restriction, so I guess if you set a restriction, the status is removed once the restriction, I guess, is complete, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but you can probably experiment with it to see what happens. Let's go ahead and let's see what does it have here. Okay, so auto removal timing is basically you set, like for instance, you can set a duration time for either an action end or a turn end. So once the action end, maybe for instance, like once you're done with your turn, it's done, I guess. Or if you go to a turn end, you can set the amount of turns when the when the stat is done, basically. So, for instance, say I added this to 5 and this to 5. That would be, it would end after 5 turns, that status. So I would lose control of my character for 5 turns if they have that status on them. And that's according to what the guide is. So the guide has it as 5/5 and turn end. So go ahead and change that to that. Remove by damage. I guess that's if a creature hits the person, and you can set the if the creature hits that person who has the status. If they depending upon the percentage here, if for instance it's right now it's set at 100, if a creature hits that person, then that status is removed because it's set at 100, or you can have it say like it has a 50% chance of being removed, type of thing. Remove by walking. For instance, say you have poison, and poison could be if you have it set at the restriction of none, for instance, like it will continue on after battle, or is that how it goes? I believe so. Yeah, if you did something like that, yeah. Basically, it allows you to continually have that effect until you reach a certain amount of steps, basically. So, anyways, for this guide, it doesn't say anything about having these, so don't click these, so this is not necessary. Another thing that you can do is you can include a message when a person receives a state and also when the state is removed. So, for instance, this would say the target name, and then it would say, for instance, for this one, we're going to have it say, feels a thunderous power, period. So, for instance, it would say my character's name is what? Eric. So it would say, Eric feels a thunderous power. Cool. Now, the next one is what it would say if it was removed. So it would say, Eric no longer feels thunderous power. Okay. And that's how that works. And you can also do one where when an enemy fell in the state. You can also do when the state remains. So it gives you a couple more options there. Now let's go ahead and change the features, which is really important because we need to know what this Thunder Cry does. So let's go ahead and double click in here. And let's go ahead and set, it's going to do an attack, and it's going to be an elemental attack, and it'll be thunder. Okay, so because, thunder, yeah. So go ahead and click, oops, whoops, that's not what we wanted. Thunder. Okay, what? Wait a minute. Oh, duh. Make sure you click the slot. Don't just, click what you want in here without clicking the slot. Make sure you do that. So click OK. So now we have the attack element as thunder. And then double click in here again because we're going to add an elemental rate. So this will be, let's see here, elemental rate. So let's see. So an elemental rate, it changes the damage multiplier according to the specified element. The higher the value, the greater the weakness against the element. So let's see. This one, it would be set to 50. So I'm thinking that, I'll make sure the slot is clicked. I'm guessing here that if you hit the enemy with within Thunder Cry, the enemy will have a 50% chance of getting hit extra with thunder, I'm supposing. So click OK. And then the next one is the parameter. We're going to increase the attack. Make sure parameter is on. We're going to increase the attack to 200%. So that makes them a beast in attacking. We're also going to increase the attack speed. So attack speed, and we're going to increase it to 2. And what that basically does is it allows the character to become higher in the attack order in your party. So if this person basically has this Thundercry stat on them, they're going to be a pretty big beast. They're going to be doing some major damage. So that's pretty cool. You now just made your first status. And there's a lot of different things you can do within here, and it's just a bunch of experimentation can go a long way in learning more about what's in here and what things would work and not work for a given situation. So let's go ahead and apply, and we are going to go on to oh wait, first of all we're going to need to fix a couple of the well, actually just poison, looks like. In the guide it has it here that the extra parameter for poison is at -10%, and according to the guide it seems like that is actually a little bit too harsh, so it decreases that. Oops. Actually no. So -5 instead. So it kind of decreases it just a little bit, or I guess in this case it increases it a bit so it doesn't hit as hard. So at least for this game that would work, because it's not a very long game. Yeah, that's basically just how the guide goes. So click OK. So we change that, and we should be fine to go on to the next thing in the tutorial. So here we're going to go ahead and go to skills. Okay, now skills, we're going to again get rid of the ones that we don't want and keep the ones that we do and create the ones that we need. So the first one that we're going to need, or actually the skills are kind of okay. There are two things here that you definitely need and do not want to have erased, and that is attack and guard, unless you don't want guard. But you definitely want attack, because if you don't have either attack or guard, you wouldn't be able to do just a regular attack or a regular guard. So it's very important that you keep these and don't erase them, unless you are going to fix them up and call them something different. So anyways, we're also going to keep dual attack, so don't get rid of that yet. Don't get rid of that. But the ones that we're going to need strong attack and cleave, which is 80. Let's see, oh yeah, strong attack and cleave. So we can do multi-copy here. So 2, go up, and then go to double attack. Go right, paste, and there we go. Next one we want is heal, which is 27. Yep, right here. No, it's not. 26. Never mind. 26 is heal. So copy, and we're going to go to escape and paste, and then we want recovery, which is 29. Copy, and then wait, paste, and then cure, which is 31. Right click, copy, then go under fire breath, right click, paste, and then we want fire, which is 51. Right click, copy, and then go to ice breath, right click, place, paste. And then we want flame, which is 53. Copy. And then shock. Wait a minute, I think we're missing a couple. Copy, paste, flame. Oh yeah, where's ice? Did it move it? Oh, we are missing ice. I thought I got that. Well, anyways, let's go to 55 again, copy, And so we got cure, fire, flame. I'll just do paste here, ice, and then blizzard, which is 057. Let's see, 057 blizzard. Copy. And then go to dark cloud, paste. Okay, so we should have 12 items here. Very good. So let's change the maximum to 12. And then, yep, go ahead and OK it. Now we're going to add 5 extra. So let's add it up to 7 for the max. However, in this video, we're only going to create 3 of the 5. So 2 of them we're going to save for another video because there's going to be some special things we're going to be doing to them that are not going to be discussed in this video. So the first one is going to be poison, or yeah, poison attack. So poison attack. We'll set the icon, and I think either one of these would work. I think I'm going to go ahead with this one. Okay. Description. I'm going to go, it says here, an attack that has special poisonous, let's see, poisonous properties. Okay. Period. Okay. The next thing is for the skill type, we can set it to either a special or magic or none. So that basically states, like, say, if, like again with the classes, if a class, you can set the class to either use special or magic, or even both if you wanted to. But for this one, we're going to just set it to special. So those whose class can only use special attacks can only use that. So they'll be able to use this poison attack. MP cost is 0 and TP cost is 0, so it won't cost any magic to use it, and it won't cost any technical points to use it. Scope, we can choose how many enemies or allies it will affect, even dead ones. So for this one, we're just going to set it to 1 enemy. And then on the occasion, we can set it to happen only in battle, or only from the menu, or never, or always. So this will be like, basically, it will set the parameter for when you can use this attack. And since it's an attack, it doesn't really make sense to use it always, or use it only from the menu type of thing. So it only works mainly in battle, so you only want to have it in battle. So the next ones are the invocation. So it sets the speed, the success, the repeats, the TP gain. So we kind of went over this, I think, with the one of the things that we went over today, I think, was the item. So let's do this. An 80% success rate, so it won't work all the time. And the repeats is 1, and it's going to be a physical attack. The animation is going to be 50, which is poison. That's good. And we're also going to have a user message. So we have a username. So Eric uses poison attack, and he's excited. Yay! Now there's going to be no required weapon type to use this skill, so we're going to go over to damage. Now we're going to be messing with damage here. So instead, like when items, remember we didn't really mess with damage, but now we are. So here we're going to have it be HP damage, so it's going to hit the hit points. We're going to have the elemental, and it's going to be just a normal attack. The formula now. The formula, basically it's, let's see, description here. Enter a formula for calculating basic damage, adjustments for such things as elements and defense will be made separately, so do not include them in the formula. The user is expressed by A and the target by B, and then either one is followed by a period to enable the referencing of the parameters shown hereafter. For example, A period ATK stands for user's attack power. So basically this formula basically states like gives it an algorithm for the how much damage is done to the monster or the enemy depending upon like their the defenses or their evade statistics basically. So that's pretty cool. Pretty powerful tool there. So for this one, we're going to have it be A period ATK space shift 8 gives you that pound symbol, or not pound, the just, well, I think that's pound, isn't it? No, I don't know, it gives you that symbol. So that, and then space, then 4 space minus sign space B period DEF space shift 8 space 2. Alright, and that's the formula. We're going to have a 20 variance. I guess 20 is a pretty good number to have for the variability of the attack. And we're going to have the option for a critical hit. Now we need to add the status, or the effect, and we're going to have a poison effect. So let's see, or a state. So we're going to add state. It's going to be a poison, and for this one we're going to have it at 60%. Okay, so it has a 60% chance of being poisoned, I guess. Yes, I believe so. Alright, so we just made poison attack. Very good. So go ahead and apply. Now let's go to the next one, and we're going to create a new one. The new one is going to be called, let's see, okay, it's going to be called Dark Attack. So D-A-R-K, and you know how to spell. Dark Attack. Description: an attack that has special blinding properties. Special blinding properties. Good. Period. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is skill type. We're going to keep it on special, and no MP cost or TP cost. We're going to have it set to one enemy and only in battle. And we're just going to keep speed at 0, success rate at 80, and repeats at 1. We're going to change it to physical attack, and then we're going to do the animation at 51, which is darken. Okay, and then the next one is we're going to add the message. It's going to be Eric uses dark attack! Exclamation point. And then we're going to keep these all the same. And then the damage, we're going to go up here. We're going to have HP damage. Elemental is going to be normal attack. The formula is going to be the same. So A period ATK space shift 8 space 4, then space minus space B period DEF space shift 8 space 2. And then the variance will stay at 20. Then we're going to add another state, and this time instead of poison it's going to be blind, and it's going to then still be a 60%. So very good. And we made dark attack. It's very good. So hit apply and go to 15. Now with 15 we are going to make thunder cry. Oops. Go to name, go to thunder cry. And for this one, we're going to, we'll just have this one. So we'll have that be the icon. You can choose whatever you want. The description is a furious war cry bestowed upon the user by the, and since I don't want to go over the box, I'll just enter it, by the legendary warrior Udre. Okay, so a furious war cry bestowed upon the user by the legendary warrior Udre. This is going to still be a special attack type. Its MP is going to be 0, TP will be 0. Scope will be the user, and then the occasion will be only in battle. Speed will be 0. Success rate will be will be at 100%. So whenever you use it, it will always happen. And critical or certain hit. It looks like we're going to keep that there. Oh, cool. So it treats a successful use of a skill as a hit. Oh, that's cool. And then the animation, we are going to change it to 34, which is shout. Cool. And then we're going to change this to Eric uses thunder cry. And then for the type, we're going to leave it at none. So leave everything at none, including that. And then for the state, we're going to add Thundercry, and it's going to be at 100%. Alright, well, we just created another one. So apply it, and like I said, we're going to leave these two blank for this video, and we'll go back to them later. So the next thing we're going to cover is classes. This is going to be kind of fun. So we're going to create our own classes, and well, keep one. So the one that we're going to keep is Soldier. So everything else can go. So change the maximum to 1 and OK it. And then we're going to add 3 more. So we're going to have 4. Okay, so now the Soldier, we're still going to, well, actually with Soldier, we'll change a couple things, but I'm just going to show you how everything works here. So of course you can name your class, so we're going to keep it at Soldier. You can change up the XP curve. So what that does is, so for instance, it'll take you 50 experience points to get to level 1, and then this gives you kind of the chart for how much experience you'll need for each level, which is pretty cool. And it just gives you a whole bunch of different numbers that you'll need to know exactly, you know, kind of like the gist of the how it works. And it's pretty cool. Now, all of these numbers are based upon 4 different numbers. We have the base value, the extra value, acceleration A, and acceleration B. Now, you can change these manually. It's set at default to 30, 20, 30, 30. But I noticed that if you just change, for instance, extra value, it just goes up 1 for each level. And base value seems to go up more once you get up to the higher numbers. And then acceleration A kind of does this same kind of effect. That changes a lot more once you get to the higher ones. And then same with acceleration B. It seems to kind of see where the curve goes. And you can see that if you increase this a little bit more, it just has a little bit more steep look to it. So that means that it'll be a lot more experience points needed in order to get to the higher levels. So for right now, let's just leave the Soldier at 30. Oops. 30 and 30. So 30, 20, 30, 30. Leave it basically the same. However, we're going to change up his the features here, just a couple of them, mainly just like some of the items that he can only use, or he or she can only use. We're going to keep special, and we're going to keep axe, but we're going to get rid of general armor. So you just go right click, delete, and light armor, we're not going to have him use that. So right click, delete. We will keep heavy armor, but we won't have small shield or large shield. So delete those. And let's see. Anything else we need to do for this guy? Oh, right. We need to give him some skills. So let's go into skills, and we are going to have him learn, let's see, strong attack, and he's going to learn that one at level 3, which is pretty cool. And he's also going to learn cleave. So go right, or click in another box, look for cleave, and he's going to learn this one at level 5. Pretty cool. Alright, well guess what? We just created, we didn't really create this class, but we did upgrade it. So that's pretty cool. So right now, go ahead and apply, and let's go to the next one. So the next one is going to be a cleric. So cleric, and we're going to change up the parameter curves. And we can do that by in the guide, it just has to do a quick setting. So how this guide works is basically let's go ahead and do you can go to these ellipsis over here for the XP experience curve, and then kind of with actually wait, never mind. Go back to here. You can generate a curve, and what happens here is the closer it is to fast, the more it curves, and the closer to slow, the more it does like a swoop or a swooping curve. Instead of like an over curve, it swoops down, so it gets like a little dent in here. So let's give an example of slow. So for instance, you'll be getting this is in max HP points. It looks like you'll be gaining not as much HP over the course, it seems like. But then, for instance, say we change it to, or wait, no, never mind, that's backwards, because it says here, sets the curve of the parameter graph. The closer to fast, the lower the value added on level up. The closer to slow, the higher the value added on level up. So if you wanted, for instance, since this is on max HP, if you wanted somebody to not really gain much HP over each level, then you want to put it over to fast. So this would be like for like rogues or thieves, usually the traditional people that don't really gain a lot of HP every level. However, if you want to make a tank, you would want to put it on slow, so that they'll be able to gain a lot of HP each level, and such like that. So for this one, we're just going to go ahead and do quick setting. Quick setting basically allows it to do a randomized amount of change, and without really having to mess with the generate curve type thing. So for this one, we're just going to set, let's see, MHP, MMP, and agility and luck on C in the quick slot. So C for MHP, and then C for MMP, and then I think it was attack as well. No, agility. Agility as well as in C, and luck in C. And then we want attack in D, so they're not gonna. Alright. So they won't be attacking, or their defense may not be too good. And then The next ones, which is magic attack and magic defense, those are going to be set to B. Okay, so it looks like they're going to have quite a bit of value in both the magic attack and magic defense in their once they level up. So that's pretty cool. Which makes sense. I mean, cleric, use magic and such like that. Okay, now we're going to change up this as well. We're going to change the skill type from special to magic because we want them to use magic. And we're also going to change the equip weapon from axe to staff. And we're also going to change the armor equipment to magic armor. Okay. And we're also going to change the skills. So it's a cleric heal people, so clerics heal people. So let's go to, let's see, the first one, we're going to have heal, and that's going to be a level 1 skill. And then the next one, we're going to have, and the next one is going to be cure, and that's going to be at a level 3. And then the next one is going to be recovery, and that's going to be a level 5. Sweet. Alright, well guess what? We created our custom-made class. So go ahead and hit apply. And now we are going to go, let's see, to the next one. And this one's going to be a mage. Okay, so another magic user. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we did for the cleric with this one. So MHP is C, MMP is C, and let's see, agility is C, and luck is C. Attack is B, no, D, defense is D, and then MAT, or magic defense, or magic attack is B, and magic defense is B. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and change this up again. So skill type is going to be magic. Okay. Equip weapon is going to be set to staff. And the armor again will be magic. And then the skills. Now this one, the mage is not going to be a recovery type character. The mage will be an attack person. So let's go ahead and do fire, and that's going to be a level 1. And then we're going to need ice, and that's also going to be a level 1. So he'll have, or he or she will have 2 level 1 skills, or 2 skills at level 1, whatever. And then he's going to have, or he or she will have flame, which will be set at level 5, so they won't gain very many skills every level, which kind of evens things out. Next one will be blizzard, and again at level 5. So that's pretty cool. I believe that changes, well, that creates that mage, or that class. So go ahead and apply, and let's go to the next one. Next one is going to be the rogue. Now this person is going to be quite different. We're going to actually generate curves for this person. So for this, we're going to set, let's see, this one, go down to fast, and it puts it on like the 4th tick. And then go ahead and OK it. So it kind of has this little bulge here. And then click onto, let's see, go to the next one, which is MMP, and this one kind of has a fast type of thing, and I'm just going to put it on the 4th tick as well, so it kind of has this dip right here. Maybe a little bit of a different, maybe not so much of a dip. Maybe 5. There we go. So okay that, go on to attack. Attack seems to have a little bit of a curve. So I don't think it will be as much, so we'll leave it at 5. And then defense remains, I think it remains the same, I think. And then MAT also looks like it remains the same, as well as MDF. Agility, however, it looks like it has a pretty major curve. So let's go ahead and generate and do it, I guess, at a 3, which kind of makes sense. And okay it. And then luck as well will have a curve. So we'll have 3. Okay, so it kind of would look like this in a way. Alright, the next thing is we're going to change a little bit in here. We're going to keep the skill type at special, but the weapon equip is going to be a dagger. And we're going to give the rogue a special type of... Oh, actually first, let's change the armor to light armor. But like I said, we're going to give the rogue a special type of attack or capability. We're going to make him dual wield. So click in here, go into slot type, and dual wield. That's pretty cool. So okay it. So that means the rogue will be able to dual wield 2 daggers or 2 dagger type weapons. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and give him a skill as well. The skill, right now, the only skill we have available for this particular class is dual attack. And that's going to be a level 3 attack. So dual attack and okay. Alright. Well, guess what? That's the last class that we need to create. So apply and we're still not finished yet. We still have a couple of things we need to do, but they won't actually take very long. So the next thing we're going to be messing with is the actors in our RPG. In this game, we're only going to be using 4 characters, so we can change the maximum to 4. And then we go up to here, and in the tutorial or the guide, the main person is named Raphael, and he doesn't have a nickname. You can have a nickname if you wanted to. Basically, it's displayed on the status screen, but you don't need one if you don't want to. We're going to keep him as the soldier class, initial level at 1, but we're going to change the max level to 7. So it kind of tells you that we're not really going to have a really long game. And the guide keeps this description, but if you wanted to, you can change it up if you wanted to. And I'm also just going to go ahead and keep this graphic because it just doesn't need to be changed, in my opinion, and as well as the guide doesn't change it either. So next thing, we want to keep him at the hand axe as the weapon equipment, so he'll only use hand axes wait, no, what am I talking about? Since his class only uses axes, he'll have the hand axe to use. And we're also going to give him, let's see, chainmail. So basically this gives you the starting equipment. So you can set up what you want him to start, or what you want them to start out with. You can also add special features to the characters if you wanted to. So for instance, if you wanted to give the character like their own special abilities, like special skills that's not relevant to the class, but just to them, you can do that. Or just any other type of debuffs and stat rates and state resists, just a whole bunch of different things to customize your actors or the people inside your party. So that's pretty cool. But for this RPG, we're not going to be messing with this, at least not in this video. So that's pretty cool. And go ahead and click on apply, and let's go ahead and fix up the other characters. So the next character is going to be named Tana. So Tana. Oops. Tana. And then nickname is no nickname. Soldier. Nope. We're going to make her a cleric. Level 1. Then 7. We're going to change this up. We're going to say quiet and timid, comma. She tries to aid the world by using, enter, the power of catharsis. Interesting. Quiet and timid, she tries to aid the world by using the power of catharsis. Okay, let's go ahead and change our graphic though. We're going to change it to this one. And that one. Cool. Now let's set up her starting equipment. She's going to have a wood staff, and she's going to have a cotton robe. Okay, and everything else stays the same. She has no special features we're going to give her yet or ever, and that's it. So apply, go on to the next one. And then this one, we are going to make the name Fane. Yeah, that's what the guide states. Oops. And then no nickname. The class is going to be a mage at level 1. Or actually, no, this is going to be different. For this instance, we're going to be gaining this character in the game a little later. So that means our characters will be upgraded, like their level will be higher. So it would make a little bit more sense to have this character's level higher as well. So this is going to be increased to 3. And then max level is going to be 7 as well. And we're going to change her description as a mage who is looking to defeat the demon that is terrorizing. Oops. Enter that. Terrorizing the lands. Alright, very good. Period. Let's go ahead and change that. You don't have to have it in actor. You can just go back to people if you wanted them to be like a person avatar to be a part of your group. And that looks good. That's what's used in the guide. So that was in people 3, this one. Alright, sweet. So we'll set up the starting equipment. Again, is a wood staff, and the body is a cotton robe. And that's it for her. Now, we're going to name this person Julian. And he's going to have no nickname. He's going to be the rogue. And we're going to get him very much later in the game. So he's going to be at level 5 with a 7 max level. We're going to change what he states with his description. A rogue that joined the party after they had done a favor. Whoops. Let's enter that so we can keep it all in one thing. Favor for him in order to repay them, period. Okay. Let's change this graphic, and I believe, no, not that one. This one. So that one, so it's actor 5, this one. Okay, there you go. And then we're going to give him, since he's dual wielding, we're going to give him 2 daggers. And the body, we're going to make it a leather mail. Sweet. And nothing else special here. So let's go ahead and apply. And I think, let's go ahead, there's one thing I need to check here to make sure that we did. Let's go to guard. Aha. This we may need to change. Was it state? No, never mind. I don't think it's that. Maybe it's a skill. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. In skill, we need to change this to guard instead. I believe so. Let me check. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and look through. Yep. Okay, we need to go through all the skills to make sure that they're removing the right stuff here. So, remove state. We need to remove, let's see, this is for cure. Let's see, cancel. Cure. Okay, cures poison and paralysis. We don't need that, so we can just delete that. Fire, flame, ice. Okay. And then make sure everything is good. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay. So apply, go to actors again. Okay, next thing we need to do is we can go into System tab and then right click in here to increase our initial party. Instead of just having Raphael being the active, just being by himself, we can include Tana into the party. It's at the very beginning of the game. And that's how you do that. So if you wanted to, you can have, 4 or more characters if you wanted to, it looks like. I'm not sure if there's a default for this engine on how many people could be in the initial party, but you can just have as much as you want, I guess. So there you go. And okay it. We can go ahead and test it out to see what happens. So let's test it out. And looky there, we have an extra person with us. Let's go ahead and see what our skills are. He doesn't have any because he's at level 1. Interesting. That's right, because his skill doesn't come until level 3, I think, so he still has a little ways. Alright, sweet. Well, that is the end of the video, or of this tutorial, and hope you had a good time. And databases, it takes a while, it takes a long time to get everything organized, and sometimes you really have to go back and make sure that things are working and that you got everything, all your periods and all your dot your I's and stuff like that. But it's very it's very good. It's a very powerful tool that you can use to really customize your game. And yeah, we're going to still be using it quite a bit, I believe, and so just go ahead, test around, see what you think, what you like, and if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy trails!